Ariel, this is my place, and if I catch you cheating again, I'll fix you. I'm sorry about that kissing, Luke.
I'm glad you didn't dream of me as an egg beater, as one of my patients do.
Why, what would that mean?
Never mind.
Luke, does it make any sense to you what I mean?
Not yet. You're trying to tell yourself something. What it is, we'll figure out later.
There's a lot more to it.
Your Honor, try to recall the details. The more cockeyed, the better for the scientific side of it.
He was leaning over the sloping roof of a high building. There was a man with a beard. I yelled at him to watch out. Then he went over, slowly, with his feet naked. Then I saw the proprietor, the man in the mask. He was hiding behind a tall chimney, and he had a small wheel in his hand. I saw him drop the wheel on the roof. Suddenly I was running. Then I heard something beating over my head. It was a great pair of wings. The wings chased me and almost caught up with me when I came to the bottom of the hill. I must have escaped. I don't remember. That's all there was. I woke up and saw Dr. Goodall.
Yes, of course.
Thanks. Something's happening.
What is it? Snow.
Well, I tried it. Photophobia.
No, it was the snow.
Okay, now if anyone wanted to know what psychoanalysis is, there it is. It's straightforward, okay? You had everything there. Don't fight me. This is what Freud would call resistance. Resistance to the analysis and the analyst. You don't like me, do you? Said the patient. This is what Freud would call transference. We had his dreams, the secrets of everything buried in his unconscious. And I think in a sense you can see that perhaps Freud was right. You really can't film psychoanalysis without turning it into a joke. If you watch any of these early Hollywood Hitchcock films, like Marnie, for example, a film that I like very much, you will see scenes in Marnie where the Sean Connery character actually gets a psychoanalytic textbook off the shelf of the library and starts reading it to Tippi Hedren, giving an object lesson in psychoanalysis. If it's that easy, why doesn't everyone practice it? Why does everyone go into analysis and stay there for years? It's very difficult to represent psychoanalysis. You can also see here, one of the reasons for choosing this particular scene from a film is that the dream sequence, did anyone realize who it was by?
It looked like Dali.
It was by Dali, exactly. After Salvador Dali and Louis Buñuel fell out with each other, making L'Ange d'Or, the film following Ancien Andalou. And Dali went off to Hollywood, where he got a job designing film sets. One of the film sets he designed was the dream sequence here for Hitchcock in Spellbound. You can also see, you know, as you saw in Ancien Andalou, that image of the eye, which was slashed open, which must be one of the most brutal moments and shocking moments in cinema history. I mean, it's unwatchable. No one who knows that that's coming can sit there and watch it, I don't think. I never watch it. You see that? He tries to repeat that here in this image where he has the eyes all over the place and scissors cutting them. It's awful. This is terrible. Okay? You can see the problem of trying to actually represent the content of a dream rather than using the logic of dreams to do it. But Freud was wrong. Abraham's Sachs was right in another sense. Hollywood, the representation of psychoanalysis and psychotherapy by Hollywood, has a very, very long history. There's a book by Garber and Garber called Psychiatry. It's rather misleadingly called Psychiatry in the Cinema, which traces right the way back to early cinema all the different representations of psychoanalysis and psychotherapy. And this has been crucial for the popularization of psychoanalysis in the States. Sachs and Abrahams were right about this. Okay? After Spellbound was released, admissions into psychotherapy in the States went up. All right? But it's a particular kind of psychotherapy. Freud's tried to come up with different metaphors to describe the analyst and what the analyst was doing. One of them was the archaeologist, burrowing down through layers and layers of soil, trying to retrieve pieces and put these pieces back together to create some kind of meaning. The other was a detective. Freud loved reading Sherlock Holmes. And he used to describe the analyst as a detective, bringing together the clues, putting together the clues to try and find the final meaning. And it is this, as a plot device, that has been so attractive to Hollywood. Okay? Here, the analyst is like a detective, solving all the problems. The analysts are like magicians who can come in at the last moment, put together all the different pieces, discern the hidden meanings there, and solve the problem of the murder. Okay? In the final scenes of the film, they will go out into the snow on the mountain and they will find out what is happening. We can also see here some of the crucial cliches in representing psychoanalysis. Analysts, of course, are always Central Europeans. They have very funny names. They wear glasses. They have little goatee beards. They tend to be elderly gentlemen who are completely mad. And again, you will see this as a recurrent image of what a psychoanalyst is in Hollywood. When you get up to something like Silence of the Lambs, it begins to change slightly. You can't quite pass off, what's her name? The actress in Silence of the Lambs. Jodie Foster. She's not quite a sort of Central European old gentleman, but again, she maintains, as a psychiatrist, as a psychologist, she maintains the ability to discern in Hannibal Lecter what no one else can find out. It's almost as if there's something magic about them, that they can tap in to the secrets of people's unconscious. And this is one of the overriding myths that Hollywood has continued to promote. I'll just say one last thing about this Hollywood representation of psychoanalysis. It also seems to be profoundly stuck in the studies of it in hysteria. All the representations, these early representations of psychoanalysis, what will happen here a bit later when they're on the mountain, when they're standing in the snow, when they're watching people when they're skiing down the side of the mountain, the main character will suddenly remember an incident from his childhood. He will recall this incident and everything will be solved. This is what Freud called the cathartic method, okay, which he developed early on in his practice around the studies in hysteria. He later, of course, abandoned that notion because it's often, you can remember one incident, one traumatic encounter, and you might feel okay for a while, but then the symptoms recur. And this is what Freud, if you read Freud's case studies, what he had to deal with in the case studies of why people kept coming into analysis. Hollywood, though, is only interested in the spectacular, so it's rooted in that kind of early Freudian notion of the cathartic method of psychoanalysis. Let me move on. The notion, sorry. The notion of cinema as dream